Acho, does Dak deserve this record-breaking contract? First of all, start off the right way.
Exactly. Let me start out like this. This is why I'm broke and you got money. This whole Dak Prescott saga is why Marcellus has the first parking spot when you pull into the complex. And I'm somewhere in the back like, Acho, is that you? Is that you?
In that dusty Bentley?
Exactly. That's the difference between you and I, sir. So kudos to you.
That's all I needed.
To you.
That's all I needed. I love it.
Now let's get down to business.
Let's work.
Does Dak Prescott deserve the record-breaking contract? No. He doesn't. Kudos to Dak. Kudos to Todd Franz, Dak's agent.
Yes.
Kudos to everybody that loves Dak, his friends, his family.
Here we go.
Kudos to all them. But I have a job to do. And the fact of the matter is, does he deserve it? No. Let's look at some of the other massive deals and whether the players are deserving
That's where
or
you want
not.
to start.
Let's start there.
Okay.
And I'll start with Carson Wentz. Did he deserve it? Everybody would probably say no. But at least his Eagles, while he was on the roster, won a Super Bowl. Jared Goff, massive deal. Did he deserve it? People would probably look at it and say no. But at least the Rams, while he was on the roster starting at quarterback, went to a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson, massive deal. Does he deserve it? Most people would say yes. Russell Wilson has won a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, massive deal. Does he deserve it? Obviously, he does. He won a Super Bowl, future of the franchise. Deshaun Watson, massive deal. Does he deserve it? You could argue there. You could probably argue and lean on the side of no, but at least we know he is a top 5 or the 5th best quarterback in the National Football League. But does Deshaun Watson deserve it? You could make a great argument that no, he does not if you want to look at collective success.
Okay.
So now we land at Dak Prescott. The fact of the matter is, Marcellus, there is no argument, no statistic, no empirical data, no eyeball test, no film study test that says Dak Prescott should be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. At no point in time.
He's not.
Does Dak Prescott, at no point in time, does Dak Prescott ever led the NFL in any statistical category? Not one. Not completion percentage, not touchdowns, not fewest interceptions, not passer rating. Literally not one time. Now, you could look at guys like Matthew Stafford, Matt Ryan, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, who have all been highest paid quarterbacks. But even Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins have all led the NFL in one statistical category at some point in time. Just one. Not all, just one. Matthew Stafford, thank you, most completions in the season. Kirk Cousins, appreciate you, completion percentage in a season. Matt Ryan, thank you so much, completion percentage in a season. But when I look at Dak Prescott, Marcellus Wiley, at no point in time has he ever led in any statistical category. He hasn't led his team to a Super Bowl, nor has his team won a Super Bowl while he's on the roster. So, again, I don't think he deserves a record-breaking contract. I'm happy he got it. But did he deserve it? No.
Absolutely, he deserved it. I don't know who your agent is. Congratulations for him getting you this far, but let me take it from here. Let me represent Emmanuel Acho and all you got going on. We gonna break banks, okay? I'm not great at everything. There's about 2 things I'm really good at.
What you great at, big dog?
Okay. Breaking banks and breaking banks. That's all I do. Man, look, dog. I told you scared money don't make no money.
It don't.
And you still at the tables giving Vegas all your money. Building casinos left and right. That's Acho's. Yeah, Acho built that one too. Instead of just going with me, bruh. And I told you, if you go with me, you're going to find where Dak is going. And Dak finally arrived there. Congratulations to Dak. That said, I think what you're doing is something that a lot of people do in terms of misconstruing what a contract really is. I think you want it to be evidence-based. You want it to be based on measurables and metrics and accomplishments. But I give it to you in story form when I was a player rep for 9 of my 10 years in the NFL, and we used to go to Hawaii every year. Now, that trip sounded like a burden to some, and then it sounded like a paid vacation to others. But if you took advantage of the resources and the education that was going all around that campus, you really learned a lot about the league. I remember watching an executive council member talk to us about marketing. It was a marketing 101 to all the NFL player reps. And he handed out all these binders, this big, of every single player's NFL marketing deals. Okay, so I had half a page because I was kind of good at the time. Not great. And then you get to some other guys that got one line. You get to another guy that got one line. You get to another guy, he has a whole page. You're like, oh, he beasting. And then we got to young Peyton Manning. He was in his third year. He had 19 pages. And we were like, wait a minute. Peyton Manning ain't won no Super Bowl. Peyton Manning has been struggling and then good, and then we don't know what he's going to be. Can't even beat Tom Brady. Why is Peyton Manning making all this money? And finally, the executive council member came up and told us why. There are two things that get paid in this world, and you know one of them, and you're only married to one of them. Production.
Yes, sir.
What's the other one? Potential.
Okay.
Hey!
Okay, I like that. I like
so here's the thing, Acho. You got to remember, when you're talking about a young player with tremendous upside, not only will he make as much as a great player that's older, he may get it earlier than you even anticipate and expect. And that's what Dak Prescott is. Dak Prescott is a player with an upside that we can't even limit. We can't even ceiling how high Dak Prescott can climb. So when you look at the NFL and you start going through contract after contract, and I'll do that on my next layer, you can't equate Dak Prescott the same way you equate other players because you're not factoring in his potential and his future and his upside.
I like that you went there. About to unleash and unveil some layers. I don't know what's going to be the next block, the block after that, so I'm going to just give you my ammo as I got it, as it comes to me.
Okay.
Dak Prescott, hasn't shown, I would say, anybody, and I've watched the Cowboys as much as anybody's watched the Cowboys because I covered them in 2016 and 2017 and 2018 working at the Star. I was in the facility for sure in 16 and 17. Marcellus, what has Dak Prescott shown you to make us believe that, his potential is through the roof? His potential is $160 million worthy. Again, let me take y'all down this memory lane. Dak Prescott comes into the league, 23 touchdowns, 4 picks. Next year, 22 touchdowns.
Rookie.
Following year, his third year, 22 touchdowns. His fourth year, 30 touchdowns. His fifth year, he gets hurt. Dak Prescott hasn't shown us anything to say that he is consistently ascending. What he has shown us is this. He's consistently good. I fervently believe, and I wore the wristband all in college. That was my Hall of Fame head coach's Mac Brown's mantra. You have to be consistently good to be great.
Yes.
So we can argue that Dak Prescott is great because he is consistently good. But what we can't sit here and argue and try to make up is all of a sudden Dak Prescott is elite because he's ever been elite. No. Dak Prescott has been great because he's been consistently good. 23 touchdowns, 22 touchdowns, 22 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns, injured. Passer rating, it peaked his rookie year, sit at 105, then 86, then 96, then 99, then 99, then injured. Dak Prescott has never shown us, Marcellus, that he's knocking on the doors of eliteness. He didn't show us any sort of Justin Herbert type 25, 26 touchdown rookie. He didn't do that. Dak Prescott never gave us a moment of being wowed. He always just gave us a moment of really good. So the reason I don't think he deserves this record-breaking contract is because this record-breaking contract is elite money. NFL record, $66 million signing bonus. NFL record, $75 million in year one. NFL record, $95 million fully guaranteed. So Dak Prescott is great because he's been consistently good. He's not great because he ever gave us a Carson Wentz type of miraculous 9 or 10 weeks. He's not great because he ever gave us a Jared Goff type of Super Bowl run campaign, 38 touchdowns, 9 picks. No. Dak Prescott's greatness lies in his consistency. But his consistency, to me, doesn't merit freakazoid type of dollars.
Oh, big dog, let's have some lessons learned up here.
Teach me something, Marcellus.
Okay, one, you're not measuring the impact properly. Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott, just in the short sample last year, 32 points a game. Without Dak Prescott, 21 points a game. Okay, you don't want to give all that credit to Dak Prescott, but there was only one thing removed from that equation, and that was the injury to Dak Prescott that showed you an 11-point per game difference. Okay, you don't want to get that to Dak Prescott. Let's go here. What about wins? Since Dak Prescott got into the NFL, since he became an NFL player and starter, who's number one in wins? Tom Brady. Who's number two? Dak Prescott, tied with Russell Wilson. You don't want to give that all to Dak. That's fine. Let's talk about this. The fact that good and young will make more money than great and old. You don't believe me? Let's talk about some of these deals that are greater than the GOAT, Tom Brady. Matthew Stafford, when he signed his deal in 2017, was he great? Was he elite? Matthew Stafford, who's never won a playoff game? Oh, okay. Kirk Cousins, was he elite? The guy who couldn't even win a playoff game and get the monkey off his back until he went to New Orleans. Was he? Whatever. Matt Ryan, has he won a Super Bowl? Well, MVP. Okay, whatever. Where's he now? Holding his breath, making sure he doesn't get traded. He did it. Jimmy G, holding his breath, hoping he ain't getting traded. Carson Wentz, Jared Goff. Here's the thing. When you get rewarded, it's not just this ambiguous, you deserve it. You know what it really is? You've earned it. And you've earned it through a collection of assets and attributes. What are those? On the field, I got metric after metric. He's a winner. Okay, he's number one in all categories for the Dallas Cowboys first 5 seasons. Off the field, unquestionable character. Like, the only thing you got on Dak Prescott is he had a COVID party kind of early, and he didn't have enough French fries for all the people he invited over there. That was the only thing that spread. No one has heard a nasty word about Dak Prescott in terms of character off the field. But the biggest issue, and I read about this, and it was interesting, Jerry Jones doesn't trust Jerry Jones to find another guy like Dak Prescott, franchise quarterback, so fear also drives the price up. Let's talk about the fact that Jerry Jones realizes, I don't know who I can get. Remember in the same draft that Dak was drafted, 8th quarterback?
Yes, sir.
Jerry Jones in the 1st round, you know who he wanted? Paxton Lynch. Boy, stop. You know who he wanted in the 4th round before Dak? Connor Cook. Boy, stop. And then he didn't even draft Dak first in the 4th round. He was the compensatory pick. So Jerry Jones understands this. Value over replacement, something you always bring up.
Sir.
How can I replace Dak Prescott? And what's that guy going to cost me? Jerry got in his own way because he thought Dak Prescott wasn't about that life. Jerry could have got Dak at $30 million. I used to have that argument with Jason Whitlock a couple years ago. Dak is going to get $30 million. Then it was $35 million. He got injured on one leg, got $40 million. The point of this is you have to add it all up. When you want to isolate Dak and say, well, he's not the best player. Well, Tom Brady is the best player if you want to go by wins and losses and measurables. But Tom Brady's making the 14th highest amount of money per his contract. So it's not always this equal reciprocation of how much you're getting paid and how good you are. You got to respect the production and the upside.
Sure, but we got to talk about input versus output. That's what I look at when I talk about deserving. Is your input matching your output? Dak Prescott, your input's $160 million. What's your output? I'm not going to turn a blind eye to this year because it's a part of Dak Prescott's resume. Dak Prescott, Marcellus, is tied for 6th in the NFL in wins if you factor in this year. I can't turn a blind eye to the fact that he got hurt this year because that's a part of who he is.
Even though he's never been hurt before, but I get it.
But he's now been hurt 1 out of 5 seasons, so he's hurt 20% of the time. We just got to factor all that in.
That was a book cook.
The other thing is
it wasn't 20%.
It's a fact.
Because he wasn't hurt the whole year.
Sure.
All right.
But it was one of the seasons.
17.3.
Thank you. But here's my thing, Big Dog. At least, Dak, be elite in anything.
What? Like, wins is not elite?
You talked about he's 6th in wins. He's 6th. That's not elite.
Bro,
you talked about
what?
He's 6th in wins since he came into the league.
Dog, I'm talking about starting a whole year, 2016 to 2019. You're going to use this year against him, and that's not fair, but go ahead. I'm going to let you go ahead.
I'm not using it against him. I'm using it with him.
What's it? 6 is still elite.
No, it's not elite. But nonetheless, either way, Phil, if you talk about Matt Ryan, you talk about Matt Stafford, you talk about Kirk Cousins, they were elite at least in anything.
In what?
In completion percentage, they led the league. Matt Ryan, you like completion percentage.
I do, but not enough to say that's why you got a contract.
It's enough to say
if that's the case, then give Cam Newton his contract.
It's enough
he was 66%.
It's enough to say this. When I look at Dak Prescott, nothing about him wows you. What wows you is his consistency. If you look at him and you say, man, I know, let's talk this, because we always talk track. When you talk about Asafa Powell, that's Usain Bolt's rival in Jamaica. For those that don't know, Asafa Powell's also a 100-meter runner.
Yep.
He doesn't ever get first, but he has the most 100-meter times under 10 seconds, meaning you know he is consistently good. He's not the greatest. He's not the worst, but he's consistently good. Dak Prescott, is just consistently Good. So why am I paying Dak Prescott elite money? I need the play to match the pay, and the play does not currently match the pay. The play has never actually matched the play.
Wow.
The pay right now is number 1. The play is probably number 8. And we can't even disagreeing on that. You wouldn't say Dak is top 5.
No, I'm not saying
that. I wouldn't say Dak is top 5.
No, but you're once again misconstruing how it goes. I was never the best defensive end. Certainly not better than Bruce Smith. But guess who got paid more? Me. Why? In part, I had the upside. In part, I had the birth certificate.
But did you deserve it? Did you deserve it?
Hell yeah, because I spent it. Damn, what you mean deserve it? What you mean? Do I deserve to be here? Hell yeah, because I'm here. Like, what the hell are you going to say? Well, I know another guy on YouTube who's better than you. Well, then good. Let him be on YouTube, and I'll be right here. Like, all this, like, oh, well, did you really earn it? No, really earn it. I'm going to tell you this. I earned my money. Birth certificate, you got to add it like this. Are you good? Mm-hmm. Are you young? Mm-hmm. Do you have room to grow? That's an equation I don't think that you're factoring in. Put it like this. This is deja vu to me because I'm older. I was in the league 1997 all the way through 2007. Tom Brady. I remember people saying, even though Tom Brady won a Super Bowl in his second year, people were saying, nothing about him wows you. Nothing about him woos you. What's great about Tom Brady? And if you look at the numbers, Peyton Manning was putting up great numbers, and people were like, that's the guy. Now, one is the GOAT and one is my favorite quarterback. But the point of it is, if you only going to look at it in the category of wowing you, well, Patrick Mahomes should be clearly the highest paid.
Absolutely.
And he is.
I agree.
But then you got to counter that by saying, but Patrick Mahomes, you clearly the highest paid, but you only got one Super Bowl. But you're young. See how that young card gets applied when you need to in contract terms and in talking about earning it. Who's after Patrick Mahomes? Now Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah, now Dak Prescott.
And now Deshaun. Does Deshaun deserve it?
But I didn't say he did.
Okay.
But two wrongs don't make it right.
No. But that's the way it goes. That's the market value. After Deshaun, who do we go to? Russell Wilson. Does he deserve it?
Yes.
How?
He has at least a Super Bowl, Sal.
He got a Super Bowl. I handed the ball off and said, go defense.
But he's been to 2.
Okay, and he lost the second one.
That's fine, but that's something the Cowboys haven't seen in a quarter century, Sal.
So now you're telling me that Jared Goff deserves his because he's been to a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Jared Goff deserves
what I'm saying is this. Input, output. At least Jared Goff got you to a Super Bowl. At least Carson Wentz was on a roster during a Super Bowl. If Dak Prescott would have gotten the Cowboys to a Super Bowl, I'd be like, you know what? You accomplished something that hasn't been accomplished since I was 5 years old. Then, yes, you deserve that. But still, what has he done? You've gotten into the playoffs.
To put you in position to get to a Super Bowl.
So here's what we know then. Here's what we know, and here's what I can concede.
Okay.
Dak Prescott can win a lot of games. Yes, we know that to be true. Mm-hmm. Can Dak Prescott win you playoff games? Yeah, he's 1-2. Can Dak Prescott Can Dak Prescott win you an NFC championship?
No,
we haven't seen that. Can he win you a Super Bowl? We don't know. So you're paying Dak Prescott top flight, the most ever money for a lot of unknowns. I'm happy he got it done. I'm just saying he's not deserving of it. Now, I'm not going to say he didn't earn it, but I'm just saying if you're asking me as a neutral analyst, does he deserve it? Just because everybody else overpaid for the houses in Beverly Hills, does that mean you got to go overpay for the houses in Beverly Hills?
No, but you also should applaud anybody whose house is not as good as yours that gets paid way more for selling that house. Because that means mediocrity is being rewarded. If you want to go this argument. And guess what? If you're great, oh, my God, you're about to cash in Patrick Mahomes. But if you're not Patrick Mahomes and great, you still will cash in Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff. None of those guys are in the same stratosphere as Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, fair. I thought you were going to say Dak.
But then Dak is sitting there like, okay, someone else has to be the second highest paid. Who is it? Deshaun? Dak Prescott is Deshaun Watson plus inflation. It's just as simple as that. He had the same comps as Deshaun Watson, except he wins more than Deshaun Watson. And then he's sitting there saying, I'm as young as him.
You're not
Give me my money.
You're not necessarily saying that he's deserved it by his play, but rather the market dictates his value. Therefore, the market dictates he deserves it. I think we're agreeing maybe on Dak Prescott doesn't deserve Patrick Mahomes' money based off talent level or potential level. He doesn't.
No.
But he's making more than Patrick Mahomes in the first 4 years.
That's
where I'm torn. Is like, this man, him, Sir.
With that smile,
Stop
though. Look at that smile.
He is making more than Patrick Mahomes in the first 4 years, but he's not as good, nor is his ceiling as high. So that's where I struggle with saying he deserves it.
Ooh, be careful of this, because Patrick Mahomes right now has that one Super Bowl. If he continues to only have that one Super Bowl, being the highest paid, the conversation will shift and the criticism will shift towards him.